Hey guys, 7:30. Sorry I had to be so late. I had a lot of running that I had to do after I got off work tonight. Number one, I had to run by Walmart and get some chicken and some more cheese to make more mac and cheese. Looking forward to talking to everybody tonight. I've seen several check-ins today. I got people still messaging me. I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Oops. So how's everybody doing this evening? I just want to say how tickled I was today that the page hit 300 likes. That's huge. That's huge for me. I'm just tickled to death. And that just made my day. And that is all because of you guys. Because y'all are sharing and letting other people know and telling them about this lifestyle and telling them what it's doing for you. So, hey Kim. And that's what's getting the word out. And that just tickles me to death. So did y'all see the picture that I posted of the steaks? Whew, those are going to be so good. But yeah, I got off work tonight and I had to run and I had to leave work, run home, get my daughter, take her to school because she's supposed to be at school at 4 o'clock. But there was nobody to take her tonight. So I had to run home and get her and take her to school and drop her off. And luckily her boyfriend was there and I got it arranged with him for him to bring her home this evening so I don't have to go back out. And then I had to run by Walmart, get the chicken, get the cheese, and then go by my daughter's and pick up the steaks. So now I'm home and I'm excited to find out how everybody's feeling after 1 week. 1 week of strict keto. How are you feeling? Honestly. I'll be honest first. It's been rough. It has been, I was deceptively thinking it was going good there for those first few days. And then it hit. And for me, it's been kind of a roller coaster this week. I would have a really good day with great energy and feeling good. And then the next day, I would just feel like crud. And not so much, pain, like no pain, just aches and just general bleh until yesterday. And now I'm not even going to lie to you, yesterday was bad. I haven't had a migraine that bad in a very long time. But got through it and slept most of the day yesterday. So I fasted. And got up last night and me and Hannah didn't get to go to school yesterday because I couldn't drive her. I honestly, my vision, my line of vision was literally like if you took a piece of paper and poked a hole through it with a pencil and held it up in front of you. That was all I could see. I was literally blind yesterday for most of the day. So there was no way I could drive her to school. So she stayed home with me yesterday, and when I went to finally eat yesterday evening, hey Ruth, when I went to finally eat yesterday evening, there was only one helping of the mac and cheese left. She really liked that. So what she's getting tonight, what I'm going to be making tonight after I get off here, hey Michelle, is I'm going to do it with broccoli and cauliflower because I have a bag of, hey Becky, I have a bag of broccoli and cauliflower, the fresh broccoli and cauliflower florets. I have those in the refrigerator. So I'm going to cut those up and I'm going to do it with those and the fresh chicken. I've got the chicken. I actually dropped it in the Instant Pot when I came in the door. Hey Cindy. So I've got the chicken going, and then when I get done here, then I'll go in there and mix up the cheese sauce and put it all in the oven, and we'll have chicken and broccoli, or cauliflower and broccoli with the mac and cheese. But I will tell y'all, that was absolutely delicious. I could have probably sat and ate half of that in one sitting if I wasn't keeping my mind straight and knowing that that would just be terrible. That would just be too many carbs because of the cauliflower. But that's my honesty. It was terribly rough yesterday, but I'm going to tell you that today I woke up and I felt like my old self, and have all day. I feel great today. I've noticed in the past day or two, I do have one bump right there. It just came up. It came up on Sunday. So I've got that. This one's almost gone. The rest of my skin is looking fine. And my stomach's back to normal. And I'm back to, my hunger levels are back to where they were before, where I can drink my BPC in the morning. Today I had my BPC on my way to work. I finished it by probably 9:30, and I didn't eat anything else until this afternoon. In fact, it was almost 4 o'clock when I ate this afternoon. And I ate 2 breakfast muffins this afternoon. So honestly, tonight I will fix that broccoli and cheese stuff, but I'm probably this evening just going to have, I brought my cheese chips in here. Look at those, y'all. Aren't those, oh, look at that. I brought those in here, and I brought my pepperoni chips in here to nosh on. Hey, Candace. Okay, Cindy, I have never tried bok choy. Hey, Pam. Cindy, I've never tried bok choy. Tell me about bok choy. What does it taste like? What can you compare it to? I think there's a lag between when I ask a question and when y'all can answer it, because y'all probably start answering it right then, but it don't show up for a minute. Okay, so I want to talk to y'all about hunger tonight. I have a couple of people who have just started in the last day or so. Just started on Monday. I have one lady that started on Sunday. And all 3 of them that I'm talking about right now just don't have any hunger. They just don't. And this is just a day or 2 in. But the thing is that what I want to explain to everybody is that can happen right in the beginning. You can get to where, oh, well, because it's just a completely kind of like Chinese celery with greens. Oh, Pam, I know zucchini boats are delicious. They are wonderful. I love zucchini boats. That was the first keto meal that my sister made for me. After I went keto, I went and visited my sister in North Carolina at her new house. And that was the first time she cooked keto for me, and she made me zucchini boats. And they were delicious. We had zucchini boats and salad that night. But back to hunger. What can happen is, okay, your body's in shock because you're not giving it the things that you've been giving it forever. You're not giving it the carbohydrates. You're not giving it the sugar. You're not giving it the sweets. And it's kind of like your stomach is rebelling against you and saying, wait a minute. Okay, so this happens with some people. I was surprised that it happened with all the people that started this week, but it happens, and you just have to power through that. Now, I'm not telling you, because I've had them ask, do I just force myself to eat? Because I am a big proponent on you have to get enough calories to meet your BMR. The reason behind meeting that BMR, and I fell prey to this. Okay, when I first started, I fell prey to it, and it took me almost 9 months to get myself back to where my hair wasn't falling out anymore. I fell prey to, I just wasn't hungry, so I just didn't eat, and I would eat, I would eat in the morning, but then I just wouldn't eat for the rest of the day because I wasn't hungry, and what I was doing was I was consistently eating low calories. Okay, and there's a difference between fasting and eating low calories. If you do intermittent fasting, y'all, is when you have an eating window and you say, okay, I'm not going to eat for this many hours out of a 24-hour period. For me, when I am fat adapted and I'm going, mine is an 18-hour window every day. Every single day, 5 days a week, and some days I stretch it. But every day I go 18 hours, and I have a 6-hour eating window. And my 6-hour eating window runs from about 9 in the morning until about 3 in the afternoon. And then I don't eat anything. The rest of the day, it's either, it's my magnesium tea, which doesn't have any carbs or protein in it. I don't put fat in it. It's just my tea. It helps me to sleep at night. I also have water or decaf coffee. But I don't do a lot of decaf coffee, to be honest with you. Once I eat it in the afternoon around 2:30, 3 o'clock, I usually don't eat again for the rest of the day. Now, if I do, that's fine. I've gone, And yes, Candace had a big problem with this in the beginning for her. And did your daughter have trouble with it too, Candace? Because the difference is, guys, if you consistently eat low-calorie days, and you stay low-calorie, and, you're just eating, let's just say all you do is your BPC and your breakfast item, and you're only eating half of the calories that you need to intake, what happens is your body thinks you're starving. If you're below your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate, that is the lowest amount of calories that you should intake each day to maintain basic life. That means if you're just laying still in a bed doing nothing but breathing, BMR. Okay? And Candace, that's the way it goes with some people. Some people absolutely do not want to eat, and some people are ravenous the first week or so. And so it's just every single human being is different because we all have different body chemistries. So the thing is that BMR is the basic necessities. That's your respiration, that's your digestion, that's your decision making, that's your cardiac function, kidney function, all those things. If you do not take in enough calories to meet that BMR, your body will then start shutting down other stuff in order to meet the needs of your necessary systems. Way to go, Teresa. See, this is what I want to see, y'all. I want to see these things because I want us to have lost 8 pounds already. Me, I've lost 6 pounds. And now that went up and down. At one point I'd lost 6.5 pounds, and then I gained that 0.5 back, and that happens. My suggestion for y'all is do not weigh every day. Now, I weigh every day for this transparency thing, but I advise not weighing every day because you'll drive yourself crazy. The truth is the human body, hey Cammie, can fluctuate in weight up to 5 pounds a day because of the water weight, because of respiration, because of perspiration. And I'm telling y'all, if you weigh yourself every day, you will drive yourself insane. Plus, you will stress yourself. And if you stress yourself, then you're going to raise your cortisol levels. You raise your cortisol levels, you'll stall yourself. Don't be anxious, Pam. Be excited. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. And here's another thing. Somebody else was on here, and they don't have a scale. And they were like, well, what if I can't weigh? What if I don't know what I weighed? Do your measurements. Do your measurements. I've got to do those tonight before I go to bed because I forgot to do them this morning because I thought it was Monday. But I will do those, and I will post the difference between last Tuesday and tonight and see where that's at. I've lost 6 pounds. Let's see if I've changed my composition, because there will be times during the keto diet, or I hate using the word diet, y'all. There will be times when you're eating keto that you will not lose a pound. Not a pound. But your body composition will change. And what Candace just said about strings, I have always taught to use, you can use yarn, just a skein of yarn. You can buy a skein of yarn for $1.25. And you measure yourself with that yarn and label it. Neck, chest. Pam, you should go ahead and measure yourself today. You're only 2 days in. Measure yourself neck, chest, and when I say chest, right across the biggest part of your chest, y'all. Then natural waist, a woman's natural waist, where your britches come up to. Hips at your widest point, that's the apex of your hips and your hiney. Then do both biceps, both thighs, okay? And when you do that, you can label it. Pick one of them. I picked my hips personally, just because I have huge hips and I wanted to see. But now I measured everything. I measured everything once a week for the longest time, and then I started doing it once a month. For this, I'm doing it once a week. Pick one of them that you're really looking at. Say your chest or your hips, or for some of you it may be your waist. Hang that bad boy in your on your bathroom wall. You can do ankles, Candace, but the thing about your ankles is that changes so often because of dependent edema. And that can change hourly, because that is where your ankles from the bottom of your calves down into your feet is where dependent edema will go. And yes, you'll lose your ankles because you will no longer have edema, because your lymphatic system works better and it gets rid of all that crud. So, I mean, yeah, I guess you could measure your ankles to measure that. For me, the sign is that my shoes no longer left imprints in my feet when I got off work in the evenings. Used to, I'd take my shoes off and you could see my feet. See, your back and your love handles. If that's where you want to measure, Pam, to see what's going on, that can be your piece of string. All right, you take that and you hang it in your bathroom. You hang it in the back of your closet. You hang it somewhere. If you don't care for everybody in the world to see it, put it where everybody in the world can see it. For me, I hung it in the stairway going down to my basement. Now, mine are all gone now. I've thrown them all away, and I should have took a picture of them. That's something I never took a picture of, and I regret that. Because you hang it up, and every time you measure yourself, you put a little piece of tape above it, or you put a little note above it, or whatever, with the date. And you will watch that string get shorter and shorter. You may not lose a pound. You may not lose an ounce. But I promise you, your body composition is changing. Now, a lot of the cells in your body are inside muscles. They're inside bone cavities, like not this part, but past these bones. You've got a lot of tissue in there, y'all, that you can't see. Inside your brain, the meninge inside your brain. I've learned all this in the last 3 months reading, because I always wondered, well, how does that composition change so much and you never see it? Or you cut it off and keep it in a jar. Good job. The thing is there's so many cells in your body that you don't see. And the ketogenic lifestyle affects all of them. It doesn't just affect fat cells. It affects all the cells in the body. Okay? And as they heal, and as they release the toxins, release the stuff that they no longer need, and in your gut, when that bacteria, I mean, if you're somebody that has a gut disease, a GI disorder, I can promise you, as your gut microbiome changes, your weight's going to change. Because not only are you getting rid of inflammation of your intestines, of the lining of your intestines, you are also getting rid of bacteria. And bacteria weigh. They may only weigh a minuscule amount, but as many as there are in there, I promise you, y'all. Because when your gut microbiome changes, you flush out. Those bad bacteria die. And they get flushed out. They get excreted in your urine and your BM. Then the new stuff takes over. And as your gut lining heals, and as that leaky gut heals up, because the lining of your intestines is coming back together, instead of having those little fissures in it, it comes back together nice and tight like it's supposed to be. And when the peristalsis in your gut starts to work like it's supposed to, you want to talk about a different human being now. You will be a different human being. You talk about changing a mood. I'm telling you, When you can go from feeling every day like you have to, I see these commercials on TV all the time about people that have to stay close to the bathroom and blah, blah, blah. And they've got that little bladder filler and all this kind of stuff. It's funny. It's funny to watch it. It ain't funny to live it, y'all. Bladder urgency is no fun. Guess what? The bladder is made up of cells. The bladder is a muscle. Guess what you can do with the ketogenic diet? You can heal it. Because I have. Now, granted, I ain't going to be jumping on no trampolines anytime soon. I ain't taking that chance. But I no longer have urgency. I no longer have that terrible gut feeling. I don't eat and get sleepy. I don't eat and feel like I've got a rock in my gut. Okay, that don't happen anymore. And it's not going to happen to you either once you get yourself healed up. Now, keto takes time. It takes time for all this healing to happen, and you have to be patient. Continue doing exactly what you know you're supposed to do. Real, whole foods. And in these first couple of weeks, eat what you need to eat. If you're not hungry, if you just don't feel like you can eat a meal, try to do some fatty drinks. One of the big ones, I was telling Pam about it earlier today, you can get bouillon crystals. Okay, those are not bouillon cubes. Bouillon cubes are not keto because they have a lot of maltodextrin and starch and caking agents and all that kind of stuff in them to make them into those little cubes. But you can get bouillon crystals. Yeah, I'm telling you, Pam, it works quick. It does. And I promise you, you're going to feel so much better on the other side of this first week or so. I mean, it's amazing how quick your body will heal, especially if you're in pretty good condition already. And you were. You're young and you were in pretty good physical condition anyway. So you take that bouillon, and you can get it at Angles. I know you can get it at Angles. Now, y'all up in Illinois and places around there, y'all are going to have to kind of talk to each other on here and let each other know where you find stuff, because I'm not familiar with Kroger or IGA or Whole Foods. We don't have one of those around here. I live in a very rural community. We have an Angles and a Walmart. And then we've got a little privately owned grocery store called Andy's. And we got a Piggly Wiggly up in Dillard. But y'all, we ain't got nothing. If we want to go somewhere that's got, a nice deli or a Whole Foods or something like that, we have to drive about an hour and a half to get there. So I understand the rural community thing. And sometimes you just have to look around. And if you can't find it, go on Amazon. See if you can find it on Amazon. Because y'all, I'm telling you, a Prime membership is well worth the $99 a year. And if you're a student, you can get it a lot cheaper than that, by the way. Aldi has a great keto shopping list. It does. Pam posted that. I think it was on her timeline the other day. And if you, Pam can post that one. She can share it over into the transparency group if she wants to. But everywhere, y'all are in all different regions. I've seen people in the past week from literally almost all over the country. We haven't reached the West Coast yet. I've noticed that. We have not reached the West Coast. But we are definitely in the Midwestern area. We're in Middle America. We're in the Northern United States. And we are definitely in the Southern United States. So there's going to be different stores everywhere. But you take those granules, and I used 2 teaspoons of them, and I would get a regular coffee mug, I guess mine's about a 16-ounce coffee mug, because I buy the big ones. But I'd put 2 teaspoons in there and pour hot water over it, and add some coconut oil, some butter, and some MCT oil when I just wasn't hungry. Absolutely, Pam, that would be awesome. So, if you just feel like you can't eat a meal, okay, try doing a fatty drink or some sort of a fat of some sort. And MCT oil, Pam's ordered her Kiss My Keto Pure C8, and that's going to help a lot because it's super high in calories and it's got great medium chain triglycerides. That's what MCT stands for. Those C8s. Pam, you think you feel good now, sister, when you start using MCT? Take it slow, like I said. You know, do 1 squirt the first week, do 2 squirts the second week. If you're not having any GI distress, go ahead to 3 squirts the third week. If you don't get the squirter, which if you bought the big bottle, you'll get a squirter with it. But you can just do half a teaspoon the first week and then do a teaspoon. You know, go slow because MCT oil is potent. But you will feel so good. Your brain clarity, oh my gosh. Talk about getting rid of brain fog. Now, it'll do it. But that's the thing. You got to stay above that BMR. So, fatty drinks, something of that nature, you know, that's, I took to it really easy. I didn't have hardly any trouble with it. But now, excuse me, I have not eaten today, y'all. I don't know what I'm belching for. All I've done is drink water except for those 2 muffins. I'm probably swallowing air because I'm talking. That's all I do is talk. But anyways, one of my good friends that started keto about 4 months after I did, she decided, no, whey protein powder is not an option. Whey protein powder is a carb, a big one. Sorry. You will see like some whey isolate powder, and you can, yes, it does cure mom brain. Sure does. You will see some, I think it's whey isolate powder, and you will see I have a couple of recipes where I used 1 scoop in it. It helps with the baking process, but that was in a sweet treat, and it was 1 scoop for the entire batch. Because if you don't, number one, please don't drink your calories once you're adapted. I mean, you can do the fat drinks in the beginning if you just can't eat so that you'll get those calories in. But once you're fat adapted, y'all, you need to be eating food. You need to be eating food. The only reason I'm recommending the fatty drinks right now for these guys is because I don't want them to fall into that trap where their hair starts falling out. Let me tell y'all, that is not fun. I got to a point I was so embarrassed. I would do my lives, and before I'd do my lives, y'all, I would literally stand in the mirror for 30 minutes to try to get, because I had a patch right over here that was going bald. No joke. And it happened in that first couple of months that I was keto, and when I found out about it, I corrected it, but it continued for almost 9 months. It took me almost 9 months to get that straightened out before my hair started thickening back up again. And now I got my super thick hair back. I mean, my hair, I sure ain't got no thin spots in it now. But you can't fall into that low calorie trap. Now, once you're adapted, if you're to a point that you're just not hungry, that's when you're going to start fasting because it will come naturally. And then your biggest thing is feasting and fasting. So you'll have a feasting day where you just eat. And you just eat whatever. I mean, as long as it's good keto food, eat. And then you fast. And now those I have done up to 32 hours. That's about the longest I've ever got one done. I do not enjoy the extended fast. I'm not going to lie to you. I see people, the isolate. Is it less than 1 carb or less than 1 net carb? Just read the ingredients. Ingredients are everything. Let's see. I see posts all the time about people talking about how great they feel after they do these 3, 4, 5 day fasts where all they drink is black coffee, water, and a little salt. I call BS on my end because I made it about 32 hours, and granted, I did not push through, as some of them say to do, to push through, and you'll feel better on the other side of it. I do not want to feel euphoric because I'm so hungry I can't stand myself. Oh, okay, Kim. if it makes you feel good, fine. Because Jason Fung, if you've read the fasting book that he wrote, he writes about extended fasting and how beneficial it is to the body and everything. And that's great. I'm just not one of those people. I'm not an extended fasting person. Now, I do 24-hour fast on a pretty regular basis, probably once a week. And I guess that's considered somewhat of an extended fast. But to do these 5 and 6 and 7 day, that's fine. You can always catch the end of it. I love you too, honey. And I'll always be there. Always. That's what I'm here for. But I read about these people doing these 6 and 7 day fasts, and I'm just flabbergasted. I have no idea how they do it. Because, yes, the point of the extended fast is that it taps into your body fat. And that it will then use your body fat to supply your energy and everything. Okay. For some, okay, it's just not my thing. Y'all, I cut my finger. Becky, you don't have to. This keto journey, that is something I want everybody to understand as we go forward in this month, and this being our 1 week ketoversary right now. This journey is so individualized. Every single person is going to do different. What works for Pam may not work for Becky. What works for Kim, and I'm just reading y'all's names off of the thing there. What works for Kim may not work for Pam. Oh, that happens. So it's individual. So please don't feel like when other people post in here, and if you do feel that way, please put a post in there that says, this kind of bothers me. I thought, You know, let's be transparent. Let's all be transparent when it comes to how we're feeling and what you're thinking as you're going forward. Because, you know, when I first started this thing, I would get over on Ketogenic Success before I got kicked off. Yeah, y'all, I got kicked off Ketogenic Success. I got back on, but I got kicked off. They said that I was self-promoting, which I wasn't doing, especially not on purpose. I guess I was, but I wasn't doing it on purpose. But I would get over there and I'd be reading about these people who had lost all this weight and who were eating this and this and this, and I couldn't do that. Because for me, in my journey, just for me, I can enjoy a keto treat every once in a while. And when I say a keto treat, I'm talking about like mug cakes, anything involving nut flours, the almond flours, the coconut flours. If I do baked goods, I can enjoy one every once in a while. But very honestly, if I were to do, say, a mug cake every other day, or if I was to make a big batch of like Carrie Brown's biscuits, which I want to so terribly bad, but I'm not going to because I know better, I'd have to freeze them all and just take out 1 or 2 at a time because they stall me. My body doesn't do well with them. Now I can eat nuts, which completely confuses me, but that's just for me. That's just for me. Now, when it comes to artificial sweeteners, I'm on the opposite end of that spectrum. I am not stalled at all by artificial sweeteners. Sucralose don't bother me. Aspartame don't bother me, to be honest with you. But aspartame is just really bad for you. So I try to avoid it. But they don't bother me. They don't stall me. They don't give me headaches. They don't make me feel funny. They just don't bother me. I can eat any artificial sweetener. I can use any. Now, the one I like most is Pure. I have tried the not Splenda. Is it Splenda? No, Swerve. I have tried Swerve. And with the Swerve, I like the confectioner's Swerve. I don't care for the... Sorry, y'all. That was my mama trying to call me. I told you, I forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb. So my house phone is probably about to ring. So hold on just a second, and it's, yep, there. Let me just call her and tell her what's going on, so that she don't think that I'm ignoring her. She's probably wanting to check on Brianna. Hello, I'm sorry that I had to decline your call. I'm on a live. I will. I'll call you as soon as I'm done. Love you, Mom. I just didn't want her to think that I was ignoring her, y'all, because she would have, and then I would have hurt her feelings, and I would have felt bad. So, that's for me. I can do keto sweets. Like, I can do, oh, my mama's everything to me. She's my very best friend. I never would have said that when I was a teenager, but she is. I love my mama. So, I can do one of my favorite things when I'm fat adapting. The reason I haven't been doing it is because I am transparent, and I don't want y'all that are just starting to follow me and do this, because it may mess you up in the beginning. I need y'all to get completely away from the sweets and allow your body to completely get away from the sweets, get away from that addiction, because it is an addiction. But for me, one of my favorite things was cream cheese butter and a pinch of pie with some berries in it. That was one of my go-tos. I loved it. Never bothered me. Never bothered me. Berries don't bother me a lot, but I'm very careful with berries. I only do just maybe 4 or 5, and that's only maybe once a week. So you're all going to have different things, all right? What bothers one may not bother another. Candace was saying how easy she did MCT, but her daughter had a rough time with it. So it's not about a family thing. It's not about a bloodline thing. It's not a genetic thing. It's every individual body and your body chemistry. As you go through this, your body chemistry is going to change. As your body chemistry changes, you may have some fluctuations that aren't so very fun. Okay? Because, you know, in the beginning, when you first start healing, the very first thing that's going to start healing is those fat cells, and it's going to junk those out, and then it's going to start working on your liver and all the big stuff. Okay? And on your gut. But as it goes, it's not going to heal the entire body all at one time. It's going to start kind of locking it down, and then it's going to be, oh, well, you know, I've noticed that my skin looks better. And mine, it was probably about 4 or 5 months before I started noticing my skin. Y'all know that your skin is the largest organ in your body? It sure is. Your skin is an organ, just like your heart, your liver, your kidneys, your lungs. Your skin is an entire system all on its own. It's called the integumentary system. And I have a joke about that, because one of my family members, and I won't say who, called it the integumentary system. And I thought that was hilarious. But it's the integumentary system. And that is your skin. Y'all, when it starts working on your skin, you're going to be so surprised. Who has skin tags? Right now, starting out, those of you that are starting out, now y'all that have been on it a while, y'all already know. But the ones of y'all that are starting out, if you have skin tags, I want you to take a picture of yourself. Take a picture of your skin tags. Leave it in your phone, print it out, and put it in the back of a book, whatever. In 6 months, go back and look again. In 3 months, go back and look and see what the size difference is. Because your skin tags will fall off. They will disappear. I used to have skin tags all over my eyelids when I first started this. Now, by the time I did my first live, they were pretty much gone. I do still have one tiny one right there on the corner. And I have one tiny one right here on this corner. But I used to have them all in the folds of my eye, and I had them down below my eyes on these sides from where I wore makeup all the time. Y'all excuse my dark eyes today. That's from my migraine, and I don't wear makeup very often, so I look like a raccoon a little bit. But I have none. Now, I do still have some on my neck, and they started coming back that last 2 weeks that I was off the wagon. They started coming back a little bit. Exactly. And Dr. Berry, he posted one of a guy, and he had this place on the back of his neck. He had skin tags all the way across it, and then that dark, calloused skin on the back of his neck. Y'all, you literally, your skin, your cells, your body is literally made up of what you eat. Okay? When you feed your body the stuff that really feeds your cells, that gives your cells the nutrients that it needs, then it flourishes and it glows. Y'all, my skin, I do too. I absolutely love Dr. Ken Berry. I cannot wait to meet him face to face in only weeks. February 9th. I hope some of y'all are going to join me to go to Tennessee. If not, I'll go by myself. I don't care. But I'm going February 9th. This Friday when I get paid, that's what I will be paying for. I will be paying for the one for February 9th. And when I get paid the next week, I'm going to pay for the February 16th one for the ADAPT conference. And I'm going to go meet these people in person. I want to meet Eric Westman in person. Because I've read all of his papers. And I've read Dr. Berry's book, and I've read Dr. Berry's papers, and I've watched probably every video Dr. Berry's made. And I've talked with him, I've chatted with him several times, and I want to meet him in person. Because truthfully, I want to talk to him about how I grow my business and how I can make a bigger impact. And that's what happens, Candace, because when you come off of keto and you start feeding your body that junk again and that sugar and those carbs and all that, then the skin tags come right back. I know, oh my gosh. Is she not precious? Oh my gosh, she is absolutely precious. And she's just like nothing. He's holding her up there and she's like nothing. She's so tiny. Mine will be here in the next... We were scared she was going to come today when Brianna had to have that surgery this morning, but luckily she did not. There was not a blip. Not a blip. Miss Nevaeh Grace, that surgery didn't bother her at all. She is perfectly happy right where she's at. So it may be the 28th before I have a granddaughter, but I don't think so. Oh, and Dr. Berry's little grandbaby, oh my goodness gracious. And y'all, they do. They wrap you right around their pinkies. Brianna had to have a minor surgery this morning. It was, I can't really say what it was. It's very personal. But something that happens to a lot of pregnant women, please don't put it into the notes or anything. I'm sure if you know what it is, you can say, oh, okay, but it happens to a lot of pregnant women in the later stages of pregnancy, and it became an emergent issue, and she had to have surgery this morning. And they went in and they did the surgery, and she's in a lot of pain today, and that's to be understood, but she will be in a lot of relief in the next few days once she heals up. So, yeah, it's one of the most painful surgeries there is, if any of y'all know what it is. But she's, bless her heart, 37 weeks pregnant. And she was scared this morning that this was going to send her into preterm labor. Because, you know, as nurses and doctors, when we come in and we talk to you before surgery, we have to give you the worst case scenario. That is a liability issue. We have to tell you the worst thing that can happen. And so that you are aware before you sign that consent. And she was just scared to death she was going to go into preterm labor. And the OB come in and pretty much told her, if you do, it's fine. Because Nevaeh's over 7 pounds. She's over 7 pounds at this point. The only concern is that with her being 3 weeks early, that she may have a little bit of a respiratory issue. The lungs may not be completely developed. So they had already told her that, you know, if she started contracting during the surgery or anything like that, they would go ahead and give her the shot of the steroids immediately But nothing happened, not a blip. Not a blip, it went smooth as glass. So she's at home now recovering. Her husband, he's just a godsend. I absolutely love David. And he's at home taking care of her and doting over her. And he always does. He treats her so good. I've been very blessed with 2 extremely amazing son-in-laws. Charlie and David, God really blessed me and blessed my girls with those 2 boys. But, so my rundown this week is pretty much, it's been up and down. It's been a roller coaster, but I've come out on the other side of it, and I feel 1,000% better. I'm back to myself, and I feel like somebody again. We've got 15 minutes left. If anybody has any questions, please jump in here and ask them. Because Pam had asked right before the live, for newbies, is 2% milk okay? Absolutely not. 2% milk is actually worse for you than whole milk. It's worse for everybody in the world than whole milk. And Dr. Berry explains it so much better than I probably can right now, but he has a video where he explains and talks about, and I think it's actually in his interview with Mark Sisson, when he sits down and talks with Mark Sisson. I'm not sure. But cow's milk, the whole purpose of every animal's milk, our breast milk, cow's milk, goat's milk, camel milk, I don't care, milk, animal milk, is to fatten those babies up as quickly as possible to keep them fat and growing, okay? But that milk is designed for that entity. I can't think of that species. So cow's milk was not made for human beings. And that's the reason so many people are lactose intolerant. Because it wasn't made for us. Okay, and then we pasteurize it and we do all this other stuff to it, and then we yank the fat out of it, and we just turn it into something that it's frankenfood. Becky, you can do it any way you want to, any way that's comfortable for you. If you want to have one great big meal and then a little small light meal later, or a light meal in the morning and a huge meal in the evening, that's fine. You can spread them out throughout the day. You can eat them all at one time. You can spread them out if you want to. Individualized. Whatever works for you that makes you feel the best. And y'all, you don't have to intermittent fast. That's the other thing. You do not have to intermittent fast. That is not a necessary thing. But if you do, you want to go over 16 hours. So you want an 8-hour eating window or smaller. Because 16 hours is the magic number. 16 hours of fasting is when those cells start tapping into your body fat and really start digging in. Now, even when you fast just for a few hours, if you eat really early in the morning, you don't eat again till late afternoon or whatever, you will still have some fasting in between there, and you will still tap into your body fat stores, especially if you're working out, if you work hard, if you're in any way exerting yourself, because your body is going to call for more energy. And your dietary fat, yes, it will use dietary fat, but that dietary fat, the reason you intake this much fat, and I know it sounds crazy as a lark. That's Brianna calling. So I'll give her a call back in just a few minutes. I know it sounds crazy, I do. But the reason you do it is to teach your body to use fat for fuel. Okay? Because once you teach your body to use fat for fuel, it will use your diet, it will use your body fat. The dietary fat is just on top of things. And you'll just excrete what you don't need. Believe me, when I was eating the most calories is when I was actually losing the most weight. When I quit being afraid of fat, which was very hard for me as a nurse, but when I quit being afraid of fat, And I said, okay, this is working pretty well. I'm just going to dive right in. And I cut it to less than 20 grams of carbs, and I dove into the fat, and I put fat on everything. And I mean, when I say that, y'all, I mean every morsel of food that I ate went into melted butter. I cooked everything in bacon fat. I had probably 5-6 pieces, sometimes my dinner, and still one of my favorite dinners, 5-6 pieces of Wright's bacon fried up in a skillet, and then fry 3 or 4 eggs in on top of it. What other diet can you eat the whole egg? And you can eat bacon, lots of it, and you can eat ham, and you can eat steak, and you don't have to worry about the fat. What other diet can you do that with? You can't. I promise you guys, trust the process. It works. It really does. Oh, chicken wings. Oh my gosh. Y'all, you can make the most delicious chicken wings. You can make them in an air fryer, which I haven't done yet, and I'm very excited about doing that. You can deep fry them. I've done that. And you can bake them. You can do them in the Instant Pot. You can make chicken wings and eat chicken wings all day. Skin on, bone in chicken wings. Just tear them down with lots of ranch dressing, because I love the ranch dressing. But guys, that is my daughter calling, and I love y'all to death, but I love her more. So I'm going to have to go and see what's going on with her. Because if she was trying to FaceTime me, she may be having some difficulties, and I'm the mama, and that's my job. I love y'all to death. I will talk to y'all tomorrow night. I can't wait to see you post. Make sure that you post what your losses were. I really want to see them. You don't have to say what you started out at. I haven't, Candace. I haven't even opened my air fryer yet. My air fryer and my deep fryer are both still sitting in the living room. So I'm going to get off of here. Please post your losses. You don't have to say how much you weighed in the beginning, but please post just your name, and everybody that does it gets an extra entry. Your name, how much you've lost since you started. Okay? Everybody that does it gets an entry. It's a better prize this week, I promise. Y'all are going to love it. See you guys. Sassy Keto Nurse signing off.